One of my heroes is in fact a heroine. Her name is Grace Hopper, Rear Admiral Grace Hopper. In the Navy, her name is synonymous with the history of computing in the same way that Hyman Rickover's name is synonymous with the history of the nuclear submarine. And like Admiral Rickover, she was retained on active duty well into her 80s because of her exceptional expertise. I came to admire Grace Hopper in the years that I served as Director of Information Technology and Systems Security for a nationwide Naval Intelligence Command. In our corridors, her exploits were legendary. Early in the Second World War, she had left a promising career as a professor of mathematics at a prestigious Eastern college and joined the armed forces to build the Navy's very first computer. Its purpose was to create the charts used to calculate the angle of fire for Navy guns. By today's standards, that first computer was mammoth in proportion, consisting of huge electromechanical switches that opened and closed to perform the computations. These arranged in arrays spread through rooms so large that you could actually walk around inside the computer. One day her marvelous machine began to malfunction, and Grace undertook the laborious, painstaking task of tracing every circuit by hand. Finally, deep in the belly of the beast, she found the culprit. A wayward moth had managed to lodge itself in one of those electromechanical switches. And now, because the device could not close completely, the computations were erratic. She proceeded to remove the wayward felon, polish the contacts, exit the machine, and announce to her colleagues outside, "I have just debugged the computer." The phrase stuck, and in time came to be standard parlance in our language for troubleshooting any device or process that malfunctions. But it was a statement she would make almost half a century later that interests me today. The statement came in an interview on television that roughly coincided with her completion of 50 years of naval service. In the course of their conversation, the interviewer said to her, "Admiral, given all the changes you've seen in the Navy over the length of your career, what one change would you consider the most significant?" Wow, what an extraordinary question. After all, here is a woman whose career has spanned the advent of jet aircraft, nuclear propulsion systems, intercontinental ballistic missiles, imagery from space, fly-by-wire aircraft, over-the-horizon radar, not to mention the proliferation of computers to every desktop in the Navy. So with all of the changes she has seen, what one change would she consider the most significant? Watching that telecast, I quickly began to index through the possible responses she might make, only to be unprepared for the answer she gave. And she gave it immediately, suggesting that this was hardly the first time she had thought about this issue. She said quite simply, "The single most important change is in the way that we evaluate and promote our officers." Then she went on to explain, "When I was a young officer," she said, "we were evaluated, rated, and promoted based on our proven effectiveness as leaders. But today, we tend to evaluate, rate, and promote our officers based on their track record as managers." And it was very clear from the tone in her voice that she, for one, did not consider this a desirable change. Too much emphasis on management, not enough emphasis on leadership. And thus she thrust herself into the middle of a debate that has gone on for decades, a debate about the relationship of management to leadership. Are they in fact simply two sides of the same coin? Or is leadership a decidedly different enterprise from management? I, for one, come down on the side of Grace Hopper. And I believe that leadership is, in fact, a distinctly different function from management.